Food Reviews with Fatty. As always, I'm your host, Fatty, aka Jay. Jay, aka Fatty, should I say. So we do have something slightly different today. I wanted to do something for a little while now that's very different. This is basically the Tgifriday'S pulled pork with mac and cheese, whiskey glazed pork, and mac and cheese. So to put it quite simply, I'll read what the box says because that's the best way to go. It does say that this is pulled pork is slow cooked to perfection and smothered with delicious whiskey barbecue glaze. It's served over creamy mac and cheese. And as far as this goes, potassium, it looks like there's a pretty good amount of potassium. The sodium levels are kind of crazy, so this is something I wouldn't have every day. Sodium is actually at 1,290 milligrams, which is quite a bit of salt. And the total sugars in this is 34 grams, which is actually really high for something like this. Now, I can understand maybe if you wanted to cook this, like you just wanted to make a quick meal at the end of the day, maybe you could buy this. The value is kind of not really there because it's like $6 and some change for this in specific. But you do get Tgifriday'S food for a cheaper price than having to go out to Tgifriday'S and eat it. So I guess the convenience factor is there. Now, it does state that you cook this for 4 minutes, and then you stir it, and then microwave it for another 30 seconds, but I would not recommend that at all. I would definitely get a fork, maybe break up some of the pork itself, and stir everything up and cook it for at least another minute, because honestly, when I first took it out, the pork was actually kind of like still frozen in the middle, and honestly, it does say here that, do not thaw, keep frozen until ready to use, which means that this has to definitely be cooked to its exact temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit is what it says. First things first, I'll give you a little look at what it looks like there. You see that there? Ow. It's very hot, but I'd rather it be very hot than to be cold in the middle. So yeah, their directions on this is not exactly precise on what they say, but hopefully this is pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try the macaroni and cheese by itself first, without any of this barbecue whiskey glaze sauce. I just want to see how the macaroni and cheese is, on its own. So there you can see the macaroni and cheese. I'm going to go ahead and give it a try. The noodles are kind of not really, they're not bad. They kind of feel undercooked a little bit, which, noodles you got to do al dente. Try to get those cooked as well as possible so they're nice and soft. And the cheese kind of has one of those, they call it creamy cheese, but it kind of has one of those tastes like, I don't know. You know how like when you get the powder that comes with a mac and cheese box, or like Kraft mac and cheese or something like that, you get that little packet. Well, the trade secret is to add milk, obviously, to that powder in order to make the macaroni and cheese creamy. If you don't do that, you can use water and a little bit of butter. It does work like that. However, the consistency is going to be different. And it tastes kind of like that, like how you would take and mix the water and butter together, margarine, whatever you want to call it, into the macaroni and cheese to make it a different way if you don't have milk at the time. That's kind of how this cheese feels. Almost like kind of like when they put the cheese in I guess you could say like a tuna helper cheesy tuna helper kind of thing. That's kind of what it reminds me of. The cheesy tuna helper meals that they have where you get the noodles and you add the can of tuna. That's really what this macaroni and cheese reminds me of. And honestly, that's kind of not my favorite thing because the tuna helper was one of those things that I really don't think it should have been a thing. It was some, I just, my thing about tuna is that I don't feel that it should be mixed in with a dish parsley. I don't know. It always tasted kind of funny. I didn't think it was terrible, but this macaroni and cheese definitely gives me hints of that, and that's something that I'm not really particularly pleased by. Another thing is, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. A lot of times I don't really do a lot of pork. Pulled pork is about the closest I go to it, and that's exactly what this is. So that kind of excites me in a way, because I actually do like pulled pork. I just don't like a lot of pork all the time. I don't eat this all the time. It's just, I don't know. I always felt that like it was a more fattening, like eating a hot dog or a bologna or something. Yeah, I grew up on it, but at the same time, that doesn't mean I like to eat it all the time or particularly very much at all. But I can do pulled pork once in a while. Okay, so the pork, it doesn't taste terrible. It's just not my favorite thing that I've tasted on anything like this. The whiskey barbecue glaze, as they call it, is actually pretty decent. It's just, I don't know if it's just the pork by itself doesn't taste that great or what, but I'm going to actually get a little bit of everything now and give it a try and then see what I think from there, because maybe the pork and the mac and cheese all go together. That you see that there. Maybe they just all go together, and that's what makes it such a tasty option. I'm not really sure yet, but let me give it a try. Okay, I'm going to be really honest about this. I don't think this is my favorite thing that I've had as far as microwave meals go. I'm going to be honest, Flavor Town is where it's at. Guy Fieri knows what he's doing. TGI Fridays, I don't think, not so much. This is a big restaurant who specifically sells like appetizers. And I hate to say it, but I think Guy Fieri, being a World Star Michelin chef or whatever he is, I really think he's had a lot more time to experience different stuff and really market his products. And the reason why I say this is because I did do 2 videos about Guy Fieri, and every meal that I've had from his company has been good. So he did do a lot of marketing research, and I don't feel that TGI Fridays really did that with this, because the flavors are unique when it comes to the macaroni and cheese and the pork together. However, the pork and the macaroni and cheese do not bring a very good presentation at all. And the flavors together are really not that appetizing, really. I mean, it's not horrible. Even for somebody who just now is having pulled pork or whatever, it's not terrible. What I will say is that this is not for everybody. Honestly, between the pulled pork and the macaroni and cheese, again, it gives me that feeling like I'm eating tuna helper. And this was something that I really, like I said, I didn't really like it specifically, but I ate it once in a while. This would be the same with this. For the presentation, I give it 2 thumbs down, because it looks like somebody just was like, "Bleh." If you look at it, it just kind of looks like something that somebody might have regurgitated. However, and the value's not there because it's $6 for this little meal and a whole lot of salt in this bad boy. So I'm sorry, TGI Fridays, but unfortunately, this does not get my seal of approval from the Food Reviews with Fatty channel. And I'm no sponsor for them either. I'm not a sponsor for anybody right now. 2 thumbs down for presentation, 2 thumbs down for value. As for taste, I'll give 1 thumb up because it don't taste terrible. It's just got this consistency thing going on. I definitely would have your marketing and research teams do a little bit more for this, because I'm really not vibing with this very well. There's not a lot of barbecue sauce with the pork that makes it taste good. The pork has kind of a weird consistency, almost like a tuna, instead of just like tuna. And the macaroni and cheese kind of tastes funky too. I definitely would have them go back to the drawing book and see if there's anything they can do to improve these three key functions of this item. Now, I don't know if that'll help, but honestly, I gotta give at least only one thumb up for that. The taste, because like I said, it's different, but it still kind of reminds me of food that I really don't like to begin with. That was kind of a disappointment in this general respect, mainly because like they showed on the box and it looks so good. Look at that. That looks really nice, really good at presentation. But look at a side-by-side comparison of what it looks like compared to what it is. Just TGI Fridays. Get your people to do some more research, man. You guys could really make this a good meal, but unfortunately, it's not that great. Just plain and simple. If I had the choice of this or one of the Guy Fieri meals from Flavortown, they sell them at Walmart, Walmart markets and Walmarts, among other stores. I think that was definitely, the calories were lower, the consistency of the food was better, and yeah, I don't think that this was, and you might want to rethink the cooking instructions as well, because in my microwave, and it's a brand new microwave, literally, I've only had it for about a month, I don't know, for a little while now. It's a fairly new microwave, so there shouldn't be any issues with following the directions. I would definitely add another minute to that and call it 5 minutes, and then maybe another 30 seconds to get it fully to the temperature it should be. But honestly, this would be not something that I'm going to buy again. I'm just going to call it right now. I'm not going to buy this again. I'm definitely going to go with the Guy Fieri meals if I ever buy another meal deal like this, something that I can do, because I just feel that this is not really that great. I'm actually pretty thoroughly disappointed, because either I eat this or I throw it away, and in which case I hate throwing away food, but if there's something that I can't eat, the consistency really does mess with me. It's kind of similar to onions. There's certain consistencies of onions I cannot eat, like thick onions that are raw, that go on hamburgers and stuff like that, or onions in general, unless it's little tiny slivered onions, like a McDonald's or White Castle burger, where they're sauteed, and then they have a kind of decent way to eat them. You just got to kind of pretend that they're not there, but my consistency is the big thing of food, because I'm definitely one of those people that if the consistency has a certain, I don't really know how to put it, like a way of, messing with me mentally, I just won't eat it. So yeah, I'm going to have to probably either throw this away or force it down, which isn't going to be really hard. If I have to force it down, I'll save it for later on tonight or tomorrow, or whatever, later on possibly, and see if that does anything. Usually I like to get blackout drunk if I'm going to eat this kind of thing. I don't always do that, I'm joking, but it'd probably be better off, this would be a snack that if you're drinking, you're over 21 and you're drinking and you decide you want a late night snack, maybe get this if you're going to put it up and cook it whenever you're drinking. That way you're not tasting it fully, because it's not that tasty. Just to be really honest, the mac and cheese just tastes funny with the barbecue sauce on the mac and cheese, and honestly, the flavors do not really mesh well, like I said. So I'm going to go ahead and call it a day as far as this goes, and I'm going to ask my co-host, Mr. Predicto. Hopefully he's not so iffy, because he's been pretty iffy lately, asking questions. He tells me he can't predict the answers right now. So let's find out what Mr. Predicto thinks. Mr. Predicto, does this TGI Fridays pulled pork with mac and cheese, whiskey glazed pulled pork, does it suck or not?
Now is not the right time to tell you.
No, we're going to do this one more time. Mr. Predicto, does this suck?
It is best not to say no.
Okay, well, Mr. Predicto has been unpredictable lately, so I'm not going to ask him anymore. Twice is good enough. I ask once. If he doesn't give me the right answer, sorry, but I did give you the right answer myself. So, yeah, as far as this goes, this review is basically a wrap. So I do want to say thank you for everybody that's watched to the end of the video. Thank you very much for all your support. Everybody who liked, subscribed, and did ring the bell. I much appreciate it. Everybody who hasn't, and if you're brand new to this channel, please do go ahead and like, subscribe, and ring the bell. That's going to definitely help out the channel greatly. Also, in the description below, there are merch links for my other business, J Pump Music, as well as the food reviews with Fatty channel, merchandise, and there's also a Patreon if you want to help to donate to the channel. Any support would be greatly appreciated. Public watch hours also. If you're not subscribed, watch those videos if you want to, and you'll always be catching up with some new videos that I'm going to be doing in the future. So thank you all you lovely people for staying and watching the video to the end if you did. If not, please do. Also, please do tell people about the channel. Also, one more thing. If you want to see me do an honest food review of a food that you'd like to see me review personally, please do put it in the comments below. I would be greatly appreciative to go ahead and do whatever you guys want to see. I actually would like, I think I'm going to try later on to put up a poll on the website, on the YouTube channel, so that way maybe people that come to the channel can vote on what they'd like to see me review next. I'll pick out some items that I happen to have, and then from there I can go ahead and honestly review those items. That's what we do here on the channel. I like to put out honest reviews of things and say whether I like them or not, honestly. That way you as a consumer have an opportunity to taste it with me, so to speak. That way if it's something that I don't like, maybe chances are you might not like it either, so or vice versa. So thank you all you lovely people. I'm going to go ahead and call it a day as always. So it's Food Reviews with Fatty signing out. And since I'm going to call it a day, it is a day. And of course, you know what comes next. And if you don't, now you know. Food Reviews with Fatty.